Now these screws will carry out the synchronization. To make sure that they all open together at the same time. Synchronization. And the thing about synchronization, there's loads of different ways of doing it. It depends on what tools you've got available, what facilities you've got to hold in the carbs, but basically you've got to make sure that each carb opens at exactly the same time as the other one. It's fairly easy with simple tools. This is the master one. It's controlled directly by the cable. So this is the carb that they all take their instructions from. So when you adjust the throttle stop, you adjust this carb only. It only works on this carb. These others are run by the connecting brackets. So whatever you do with this is felt there. So what I tend to do is I open that up and I get 3 small files. Basically they're not files on the end, they're for use for clearing out holes. They have got a file part of them. We're not going to stick that in between the butterfly and the carb wall because we don't want to wear it. That little bit there that's shiny, you open this up until that will just slide in. You get it, so it just slides in. Turn it a little bit and it nips it, turn it a little bit and it releases it. Now what you do now is this carb first, adjust this until this carb does exactly the same. Then this carb, using this adjustment, adjust it so it does exactly the same. And then this carb, exactly the same. Don't adjust this one before that one because that affects that. When you get this one right, then you can get that one afterwards. So do it until that file goes in just. And this one wants adjusting very, very slightly. That'll just go in. Then adjust it so that this one will just go in. Then you get a smaller one and you rotate this down until it just nips that. Just nips it. Look, you can't pull it out. A bit like a feeler gauge. You got it so that it just moves. And then do the same in here. Same in there. The same in there. When you've done that, you are then assured that they're all the same. And the final test is a very small one, which you use. You adjust this down until it just nips this, just like a feeler gauge when you're doing valve clearances. That's completely, but if you push that in, that will just release it. And then you should be able to push that between there, between there, between there. So that one wants just a little tiny bit of adjustment. Just a tiny bit. So now all 4 should be exactly the same. I mean, the only way to do it ideally is with a manometer when it's on the engine and running, but obviously it's not on the engine, so we've got to do it physically. This is a bench synchronization, which allows us then to fit the carbs to the bike and then carry out an in-depth synchronization on the bike. The last thing to do is to set all of the pilot air screws to the same. When each carb has a different setting depending on the workshop manual, and if you set them all the same, unless the workshop manual says otherwise, set them all the same, and then when the engine's running, you can then adjust them to finely tune to each individual pot. All right, so that's basic bench synchronization.